Be me. Nashville 2017. If you know anything about the city, you'll know that it was around this time it started getting big. What's important to note is that before this, the city was a near perfect blend of rural and urban, not everywhere, but a lot of places. I lived in a suburb where driving 15 minutes in opposite directions would take you either downtown or into natural reserve territory. It was in this suburb I had my first legitimate spiritual encounter, and I will die on the hill that I didn't imagine any of it. Be brother. Find free 90s style TV. Beaten up but pleasant aesthetic. Mom doesn't want it in the house, hide it in the backyard until coming to decision on what to do with it. Backyard nothing but thick copses of trees and nature. Remember, depending on where you live there's a perfect blend of city and nature. It wasn't uncommon for some neighborhoods to be divided by thick patches of legitimate forest. Eventually come to the decision to hide it in forest. Secret forestite out. Secrecy. Wait. Until nightfall to move it cause hoa is trash. Nightfall. Join brother to hide it in forest. Halfway through backyard when something's wrong. Feel something's wrong. Brother watterating about. Drugs. Seriously, be quiet. Everything is silent on a humid summer's night. No bugs, no wind, no people, no crickets. Something is seriously out of place. Distinctly feel like we're being watched, but there are no neighbors out at 11 p.m. Feel multiple pairs of eyes, start looking around. Nothing around. Brother starts talking again and tell him to be quiet. Do you feel that? We're being watched. No, we're not. Keep looking around because something is watching us. Multiple somethings. Feel chills up my spine and goosebumps. Few seconds later. The most stereotypical fog rolls in. Wide, covers vision, but not thick enough to not see through. Something is seriously not right, start panicking cause I can't find the source. As quickly as it came in, fog disappeared. Couldn't have been more than a minute. When it disappears, revealed the location of the staring. I distinctly remember it, and my description hasn't changed in the years since this took place. To one side of our house, next to a tree lining, was what I could only describe as an inky group of malevolent entities. I remember staring at that patch of darkness and seeing this group's eyes piercing through my brother and I. Their stares felt oily, inky, and dark. That is the most apt description I can give of how it felt being stared at by them. Almost as important was that I could tell they were malevolent. I could tell they meant to cause harm to my brother and I. What they were going to do, and when, I had no idea, but I know for a fact they meant us harm. Stare at the entities. Brother is mildly freaking out cause he can't sense them, and I'm acting borderline schizo. Why haven't they hurt us? As soon as the thought enters my mind, another group above the tree lining reveals themselves. At least 3 times bigger than malevolent spirits. Saw the group as they kept the entities at bay. Guarding my brother and I from their harm. 2 groups. Standing reminiscingly. This is a spiritual Cold War. Who's going to give first? After that incident, I remember looking at games like Final Fantasy or any RPGs that have you fighting spirits gods and laughing. Standing before the 2 groups, I remember as clear as day I had 0 amounts of fear for the simple reason I couldn't comprehend what was in front of me. I knew what I was looking at, but I couldn't comprehend just how otherworldly these things were. I couldn't grasp their immensity, like recognizing infinity, but only as a concept. You don't know how deep infinity really is. Malevolent group staring at us. Defending group staring at them. Continued for what felt like hours, was most likely 40 to 60 seconds. Malevolent groups vanishes like a wisp. Defending group watched them leave, stuck around for another 10 seconds. To make sure they were gone. Leave. Crickets come back. Tell brother we'll put the TV in the woods tomorrow. What? No, let's do it now. I'm not tempting that group to come back, we're going back inside. Left TV in the open. Being raised Baptist, I think those were demons and angels respectively. My brother once asked me what I would have done had he ignored my warnings and kept walking, and I told him I'd have choked him out. It sounds edgy, but that's the only time I've ever said anything like that to him, because it was a legitimate Cold War between them. If we did something stupid, I'm not sure what would have happened aside from a dreadful certainty that our lives would have been in legitimate danger. To this day, what astounds me most was the distinct lack of fear. I really couldn't grasp just how deep those entities were. Maybe others have had similar feelings, maybe different, but that was mine. Be me. Niggers. Niggers everywhere. Niggers on my lawn. They noticed me from afar. Everybody's dinosaur walked on the floor, and Bill Gates' dad's Microsoft flew over my Nintendo's house at work. Be me. Be unfunny. GF left me because I'm so unfunny. Decide to go to local diner after work. Something seems off about the bartender. He's black. Ordered a sex on the beach and was immediately raped. Niggers, no tip for that bartender. Niggers. That decided, I finally called the cops. Stop trying to derail the story. Add to things instead of trying to ruin it in the most bland and uncreative way. A nigger said unto me. I'm in the bathroom washing my hands. Reminding myself to stop at the butcher's when out of the corner of my eye I notice. A nigger. Are you fucking kidding me? I thought after seeing the nigger. A shadowy figure appeared, but when I turned my head to look, it was a nigger. The figure was replaced with a nigger. He brought up Negroes constantly and endlessly because he felt sexually inferior to them to the point of engaging in cuckoldry. Projected the gay nigger, his thirst for white cock stronger even than for grape soda. Fucking niggers. He thought to himself, when will this nightmare end? Two clearly autistic men arguing about niggers. I left the bathroom and noticed a shadow in the corner of my eye followed. The three timelines were merged into one nigger, for the nigger, by the nigger. As I began to leave, a frog man emerged from one of the stalls and pulled a gun, screaming about democracy. Once the door closed, gunshots rang out from the bathroom, barely muffled by the cheap wood door. It was a nigger. Good evening, fellow Xers. I believe I may have gotten myself into a strange relationship with Paranormal Entity PT1. Be me 2 months ago. 1 a.m. and can't fucking sleep. Start hearing some scratching outside my bedroom door. I thought it was my AC unit shaking the vents in my home and making my door sound like that. Ignored it at first, but then it went on for 10 minutes. For no reason at all, I said out loud, if you can hear my voice, tap twice. Scratching stops. Hear 2 distinct taps. Balls instantly shriveled and asshole couldn't clench hard enough. Fight or flight mode activates, too scared to move. Say the Lord's Prayer out loud. Suddenly feel peace and sleep. The next day I come back from work. Go in to use the shitter. A few wipes and I hear the tapping sound. Oh, for fuck's sake. Tapping is louder than last night. The Lord's Prayer again, tapping goes away. This goes on for a few more nights. Tapping turns into loud knocking. Getting more tired than being scared shitless. I remember a post from this board where some anon cranked one out when he was being haunted by a poltergeist once. Decide to do the same. Everything stops, no loud sounds or knocking. Been keeping this up for a few weeks now. Every time I hear some weird noise I crank the hog and the noise stops. This is the part where the fucker starts getting ballsy. Instead of making sounds I would hear footsteps. Occasionally would see a dark shadow in my peripheral vision. Having to keep my Mossberg on me at all times inside my house. But no matter what I beat the fuck out my dick until this bastard stops. I went from being scared to being tired to having fun with this. Eventually I actually start seeing it. It's literally a tall and slim figure with a diamond-shaped head. A few nights ago I could hear it coming to my room and I was laying opposite of my bedroom door. As soon as I felt it standing next to my bed I pulled the sheets and started cranking the fuck out of the Soulja Boy. I don't come here often, so I'm glad I found a thread about this. I haven't spoken of this to anyone really. I'll greentext as best I can. Be me, rural Ontario fag, 12 years old. Have a fort in the bush, tease just a makeshift lean-to lol. Walking up the train tracks to get to fort. See something run across tracks. WTF, looks like an upright squirrel. Only saw it briefly, but it looked like a squirrel was running on its hind legs and also no tail. Weird, must be rabbit I guess. Continue on my path until I get to my fort. Notice 3 dead black birds, all on their back, bellies hollowed out, exposed ribs, kind of like a baked potato. Okay, that's fucking spooky, but I've seen some weird shit, and no animals are odd. Finally get to my fort, duck my head and go inside. Upright squirrel thing darts across my path and backs itself into the rear of the fort. I could see it better this time. What I thought was beige fur was more like a burlap cloak thing. It was about 2-ish feet tall. Had tiny little blackish hands, a small, wrinkled and dark face, but I could make out a mouth, a nose, and 2 tiny little black eyes. I'm freaking the fuck out, but not really scared because I think, what's the worst this little fucker could do to me? I step in closer, I want to kill it and claim its body, for 12-year-old research purposes. Fucker has a different idea. It turns and squeezes between the branches that were the makeshift wall whilst making a horrible, high-pitched sound like a rabbit being killed. I run out of my fort and around the side to try and catch him. Stop dead in my tracks when I see them. 6 of these fuckers all look about the same, sticks in their hands, and were very bloody. All start shrieking at me. It sounded awful, not very loud, but terrifying nonetheless. I bolt out of there, run all the way home, act like nothing happened and try to erase the memory. That's it really, never went back, have tried to not think about it, but it's been eating at me. Alright Anons, I need someone to help me understand this, because I'm spooked out. Be me. Lying in bed not sleeping, but really relaxed, thoughts are scattered, and sort of just thinking about everything. Surroundings suddenly change. I'm in a car and my sister is next to me. This Arab song playing. Hear it so fucking clearly. Literally feel it playing, I can tell the sound, the beat, I can feel the car, etc. Look at my sister, laugh and say Hamas. 2 minutes, look again, and say that's a real person. Realize I must be dreaming, because how is this music playing when there's nothing to play it with? Settings change and I'm on my bed again. This time brother sleeping at the bottom of my bed next to my feet. Instead of looking like he does now, he looks like he's 6 again. Get weirded out and try to move. Can't move, legs are locked. Start freaking out thinking I might be having sleep paralysis and close my eyes because I don't want to see anything scary. 1 minute later, legs start working, look for my brother again. Nothing on the bed. What the hell was this experience? Everything felt so real that it's hard to think this didn't ever happen before. I've never done drugs, nor do I drink, I wasn't sleepy, I was conscious of the time, and was having some form of thought throughout. Was I just hallucinating? I haven't hallucinated before, but I have been able to hear sounds, songs, birds etc. with clarity when there was no one there. Example, I once heard an alarm playing while at the library, got angry and complained, turned out there was no alarm in the first place. Pick Unrel. Be me. Be dreaming. Wake up inside dream with eyes closed. Can't move. JPG. Start hearing 3 voices talking to each other, can't really make up what they are saying. One voice is like that of an elderly man. The second one is like that of a monster, imagine a non-human creature trying to speak a human language. Third voice is that of a 20-ish woman with a really sexy voice. For simplicity I will refer to them as the monster, the woman and the man. The monster commands the man and the woman to shut up because somehow he figured out I can hear them. The woman starts talking to me, trying to convince me to open my eyes. I continue with my eyes closed. She says it's going to be worth it and that she is going to give me a pleasant surprise. Napastelnatapaningmieyes.jpg. The man mocks me saying that I am a faggot for not opening my eyes. The monster tells them to stop since it's not working. He says that he is going to show them how it's done. Don't remember anything after that. Do dreams really have any meaning? Only certain ones? How can I tell? I have a very unusual dream I experienced when I was very young, and what exactly its meaning is has bothered me my entire life. The dream only lasted about 30 seconds, or at least that's what it felt like. I've posted this here before a while back, but I never received any answers or resources. Be me. Don't remember how old I was, but I was 4 to 6 yo. Wake up in the middle of the night. I'm laying on my side, but my eyes are still closed, but I know something feels very off. Open my eyes and look at my alarm clock, but I can't read the time. Everything else in my bedroom looks exactly the same. Roll onto my back. See a large, glowing figure hovering above me. Kinda looked like Pickrel, except he looked real, not like a cartoon. He had a fuller, short beard and was incredibly muscular and had a full head of hair. He was also glowing, that exact same green color. Just staring at me with his arms crossed, doing nothing else. Doesn't say a single word or make a sound the entire time. An expression washes over his face like he is extremely angry but trying to hold back. Almost seemed like he was mad I was awake. A few seconds after his demeanor changes, he promptly punches me in the face. I black out, don't remember if anything happened after that. The next memory I have is waking up in the morning. Never in my entire life have I remembered a dream this long or with this much detail. I had it around 15 years ago and I remember every detail. In fact, the experience felt so real that I sometimes wonder if I was dreaming at all and the man was actually there. Another thing that has really bothered me is that the older I get, the more the facial structure of the glowing man has looked like my own. I couldn't really tell because of the glowing aura around him, but I swear he had the exact same scar I have on my face. He looked like what I imagine my face to be when I am in my mid to late 30s. Posted it first on B, but seems more appropriate here. Be me. Be a Eurofag lost in Burgerland in summer 2019, Florida, for work. My French boss invites me to a party with lot of foreign people from different countries. I'm awkward in this and fuck I don't know anyone, start to drink a bit too much to pass the time. Suddenly a guy lightly punch my back. WTF. Look back at him, and I make a sudden jump because the guy looks like a drunk homeless dude with full unkempt beard. He screams my first name. How does that dude know my name? It's me, Matthew. Fuck now I realize who he is. Guy is an old friend from high school in France. He tries to make the conversation, as if we just met yesterday, but he's so weird. Talk with a super slow voice, I barely recognized him. Seems tired as fuck. What happened to you dude? I say. He looks at me silently with dead eyes, grab me by the neck, and get me out of the party. What happened to me this morning? Was it A's or demons? Be me this morning? Walking to the train for work at 5 a.m. See an outline of an owl sitting on top of a swing set. Decide to snap a pic. Stop and turn the flash on. Start hearing whispers. Can't tell where it's coming from. Whispers turn to talking. I can hear it well enough to easily tell it's a voice. Unable to understand it. Get very nervous as it sounds invasive. Quickly take the photo and start walking away. Pickrel. The flash didn't go off. Never actually got to see the owl, just its silhouette. WTF happened to me bros.